Welcome to Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Osdell. Car Con Carne, sponsored by Sooper Solar. Brent Sooper was a Chicago Blackhawk. He helped the Chicago team win the Stanley Cup, and now he's going to help you win cost certainty through solar. By putting solar panels on your house, you get cost certainty for the first time ever, and you pay nothing out of pocket. It costs nothing for the consultation. SoupleSolar.com, S-O-P-E-L, solar.com. So for this episode, I'm not sitting in front of a restaurant, brew pub, cafe, diner. I am on a loading dock with two of the owners of Smash Plastic. Smash Plastic is the only record pressing facility in the state of Illinois. Smash Plastic is a place I last visited for Car Con Carne 3 years ago. I'm joined by Andy and Steve, co-owners of Smash Plastic. Hello again, gentlemen.
Hey, James.
So the reason why we're here, well, I've been meaning to come back, but really the reason why we're here is to talk about a live event happening right here. We're recording on the loading dock because a live event, a Smashed Plastic event, is happening on the same loading dock on October 1st. It really is October 1st, but we'll stick with October. October 1st, it is Smashed Plastic Live Volume 1. I love the name of it. It fits who you are and what you are. Live performances from Pixel Grip, FIRE-TOOLZ, Rookie, Tar, Ono, Serengeti, Beverage and the Drinks, and a record fair. This is insane. Just dozens of independent labels who I'm sure, that's the Metro Train, who I'm sure have done business, who I'm sure have pressed records at Smash Plastic. I mean, everyone from Pravda and Jump Up to What's for Breakfast and Delmark and Drag City. It's a who's who. There's going to be stuff that you can't find on record store shelves. Record stores aren't as adventurous as we want them to be. You're going to find everything you want here at Smash Plastic Live Volume 1, October 1st, noon until 10, 4200 West Diversey. It is just west of Pulaski. It's easy to get to. Is this the Hermosa neighborhood, technically?
Yes, Hermosa.
Okay.
Yep.
It is in the Hermosa neighborhood. What an event. I mean, for a music fan, live music and a record fair, access to all those records that you'd have to otherwise mail order. Awesome. So before we talk about that, before we talk about Smash Plastic, I want to thank both of you. I mentioned that we were last year together, sitting in the car, eating cheap grocery store tacos 3 years ago. I largely credit Smash Plastic for rekindling in full force my love for vinyl. I've said it before on this podcast. I spent, my entire life as a youth collecting records. I had thousands of records. I eventually gave them away in the 90s to charity. And I was slowly, tentatively dipping my toe back in the water of buying records. I'm like, I can't do this again. I can't go back in. I don't want to rebuy everything I used to have and then some. After seeing the facility and talking to you guys, I'm like, oh, fuck, this is what I love. Why am I not doing this? Why am I denying myself? Why the privation? So I really credit you guys for kind of helping me rekindle that spark. And now, as you know, it's a slippery slope and there's no turning back.
It's dangerous.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's wonderful.
It's so exciting. Walking in here, it is, I mean, I'm sure you've heard it said, it's like walking into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. You get to see records get made and pressed, and you see all these local bands' records on the wall, on the press, everywhere. It's a thrill for a music fan to see this. Now, the question I have for you, and we will talk about the event. I walked around the facility again, and it had been some time since I was last here. You guys seem to know what you're doing.
We pretend really well.
Yeah, we're trying.
You seem to know what you're doing. The records you press look and sound fantastic. You didn't have all that institutional knowledge when you opened up Smash Plastic, did you? Did you have to learn a lot of this stuff as you went?
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you're looking at the first two employees. I mean, we were basically the only guys working there for about the first 9 months. So Steve or I would be on the press. The other one would be sleeving. And every problem that popped up, every little thing, we both handled it ourselves. And we learned a lot. When we started this thing, the idea was, we don't know what we're doing, but let's figure it out before we hire anybody else and try to train them into what we're doing. So yeah, it was truly a labor of love, but on purpose. We wanted to make sure we knew every little ass nook and cranny of those records that we were making.
Well, even like some of the machinery I was looking at today, Andy, I'm like, how would you even know how to shop around for something like that? It's not like you could just Google, or maybe you can. How do you Google a shrink wrap machine?
Oh, you get lucky.
Yeah. You start asking people, and I mean, it went back to, you just got to keep asking questions, and you can't pretend that you know what you're talking about. Once you start doing that, you fall down a slippery slope. So you ask the dumb questions, and they lead to getting the right answers.
Well, I said to James too, I was like, we had the luxury of it being last year, and it was about the only one we could get our hands on.
Yeah.
So that was part of it.
It was the last one in North
It
America.
had to work.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got, sometimes you just got to buy what's there.
Now, when we first interviewed, this was like 500 or 600 episodes ago, it was clear to me this was the right idea, right place, right everything. Here we are, you're at 2, soon to be 3 pressing machines. Your space has grown. Did you foresee this kind of growth, or did you honestly know that the niche was that obvious and that the lane was that open for you guys when you opened?
I think we thought it was, I think we had plans to get to 3 presses, from the beginning, but you never really know, right? Like nobody goes in with that much confidence into a business, but the pandemic helped for sure. That really kind of launched the whole industry, not just us, but really increased the demand for vinyl. But demand for vinyl was already on such an uprise anyway. The pandemic really just kind of accelerated it. So that didn't hurt, but no, I don't think, I think we had some vision for sure. Otherwise we wouldn't have invested all our money into this. But when you come on a show like this, where someone who was here from the beginning, like you, who was here 3 years ago and saying these things, it does make you take that step back and go, wow, okay, this was pretty crazy. This has been a pretty crazy ride.
Every local band record I buy is pressed here.
Yeah, we get a lot of them. That's still our goal, right? I mean, we started out with that idea of we're going to press local first, and we've stuck with that, and it's worked. And the local community has rewarded us with loyalty. So it's been great.
And a little over a year ago, we basically turned off the faucet to anyone outside of Chicago if you hadn't been working with us. So,
well, that's what I was going to ask, because we've all heard the stories about how Adele basically froze the record pressing business across the country. Like every press was tied up pressing Adele records, which I think are like $10 a piece now at Target. Do they approach you? I mean, do you get
Well, we
did get some major label,
yeah,
sniffing around, but we instantly said no.
Our first reaction on everything was no. They offered to send employees to work overnight shifts and do all sorts of things that it was instantly no. Like we laughed at them basically. There was no chance we were doing major label,
and as a business owner, that's what you want to do. Send us strangers to work in our facility.
Right. Exactly.
Our insurance will cover it. That's sure. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And you break something. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Well,
perfect.
that's, one of the things I always say is that we don't listen to that kind of music. Why would we want to make that kind of music? So, the local bands are the ones we're interested in and the ones we go see the shows. And so why wouldn't we want to work with them? And if you take the outside big money, you're just eating up all that capacity for locals.
I love that. And you talked about how records have grown and how sales have grown. 2021 LP sales jumped by more than 50%, the 16th consecutive year of growth, representing close to 40% of all album sales. Now, I think that's all physical album sales. That doesn't count streaming, but still 40%.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question is, will the bottom drop out at some point? I mean, at some point, this crazy exponential growth has to at least level off, right?
Sure. Well, we discussed that a lot when we were starting the company. And one of the things I always said was, well, local and independent, they were producing records in this town 10, 15 years ago. Why wouldn't they be doing it 10, 15 years from now? They understand what the medium brings to them. And the local small independent guy, as opposed to the Adeles of the world, they rely on their physical sales to make money. So until they find a better way to deliver music that makes money for people, the local independent crowd is going to continue to make vinyl for the most part. I always say fidelity's on our side, so.
Which also means loyalty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Smash Plastic Live, Volume 1, October 1st, noon until 10, 4200 West Diversey. I've got to think this is the beginning of many more. I mean, you wouldn't call it Volume 1.
Let's hope. Yeah, I'll let you know on October 2nd.
With the amount of artists and labels and managers you interface with, I mean, I feel like this is just, once that tap's open, you won't be able to turn it off.
Yeah, that's what we're really hoping. We already have visions of where we could pop 2 more stages and still be in our private parking lot here. Really what we wanted this to be is we've been talking about local music since we started right here. And like, we want this to be a celebration of local music. That's why everybody is a local artist in the lineup. That's why the record labels that are here are either all from Chicago or do a lion's share of Chicago bands on their roster. So every other festival in the city tends to bring in bands from elsewhere that end up being the headliner that carries the show. And what we wanted here was to be a true celebration of local music.
You've got Tar playing here.
Yep.
How many festivals get Tar to reunite and play on stage?
Yeah, we got lucky.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be great to have those guys.
Oh my God. And Steve, are you the Tar like super fan?
No.
Oh, John's
that's
the
John.
Tar
John is
super
the
fan.
crazy
Yeah.
super fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which owner it was. I posted something about Tar, and I got the deep dive exposition into what makes the band great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's John.
Which-
He couldn't make it.
Which is that is an example of social media being used as a force for good.
Right.
Sure.
People beaming about music. More of that,
Yep.
please.
Agreed.
All right, so Smash Plastic Live, Volume 1, October 1st. Buy records, see music. It's local AF, as the kids say. Gentlemen,
us are
if
kids.
someone wants... No, I'm afraid not. If someone wants to buy tickets, which they should, what do they need to do?
They can find the link to Eventbrite right on our own website. You can go to smashplastic.com/live. That will get you to the link that you'll be able to buy all your tickets on Eventbrite.
My final question, observation, thought. It really annoyed me, and Andy, we've talked about this. It really annoyed me for a while that people referred to records, long players, as vinyls.
Yep.
It still kind of
Yeah.
bothers me, but I realize, have you ever read the short story or seen the movie I Am Legend, the Richard Matheson story that Will Smith starred in a movie about?
No.
Basically, Will Smith, or the character in I Am Legend, realizes at the end of the book, the world has changed. He is the last person of his kind. Why is he still fighting? Why not just give up and let the vampires or the zombies take over? I'm kind of at that point. I'm at I Am Legend. I give up. It's a fight not worth fighting. I'm an old man. The world has changed. People call them vinyls. Am I?
No.
No.
No, we're not
No.
willing to give up that fight. Yeah, no.
The plural of vinyl is vinyl.
Yeah. And you know what I would say? Every once in a blue moon, somebody approaches us and uses the term vinyls, but I would say most people who are pressing records understand what the proper term is.
Every time I rail against it, I'm called an old man, and it's all, be more accepting of change, and language changes and morphs, and I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm an old man. I don't want to have this fight. Fine, they're vinyls. It's not called Vinyl Store Day, but I'll let you have it. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stay on that hill.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for carrying the
Yeah,
torch.
I'll
We'll all be
fight
up there
that.
with you.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know if I have the fight left in me, so thank you. Thank you for carrying us through. All right, Smash Plastic. Let's say that I have a lot of local bands on this show, watching this show, listening to the show. If they're interested, do they just start by an inquiry on the website if they want to press records?
Yeah. We start with start at smashplastic.com. You'll find our main. We took down our link to just submit an order because we had too many people submitting it. We couldn't even handle it.
The proverbial good problem to
so
have.
normally, so now we have to kind of qualify offers or qualify inquiries and make sure that they are local. So normally it starts with an email, info@smashplastic.com. And then normally one of our people in our business department will kind of make sure you're local or you're at least willing to, people from Milwaukee drive down and pick up their records. We're not like you need a 606 area or a 606 zip code, but
It's like Dr. Oz, you got to move to a new state
yeah,
and then declare your candidacy.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We'll even go to Indiana.
yeah, so that's kind of how it starts. So
Awesome. All right. And then we will see you back here on this very same loading dock we're recording at right now. October 1st, live music, records. I'm right there. I'm a fan of what you guys do. I think it's clearly much needed. Congratulations on getting to this point where you're starting to do live events. I love it.
Thank you.
yeah, thanks, James.
And Car Con Carne, sponsored by Sopel Solar, SOPEL, solar.com.